It is the heart of corporate pandering month, and in case you missed it, here's just a little sample of what happens in the month of June. You got companies like General Electric changing their logo in the West, but leaving it the same and unchanged in other places around the world. Do you really care? Or do you care about your ESG score? We'll get to that at the end of this video. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Zeducation, and welcome to another woke episode. Here in these episodes, we highlight the wokeness throughout Western culture so you can fall in line. And why do I say that all the time? You know, no laughing, no questioning things, just going with what you're told. Whatever the TV says you do. This is why. Check this out. Oxford College says students can be expelled if they misgender peers. The Oxford College lists dead-naming, misgendering, and making jokes against transgender people as violating school policy. So, if you do any of that, the aforementioned, you're canceled. And this is very common at most colleges, most corporate workplaces. So, back to today's episode. Don't cringe, or you're fired, or you're canceled, you're out of school, you're suspended, whatever the case may be. Fall in line. Work on your own personal ESG score, if you want to call it that, okay? Again, we'll get to that at the end of this video. So, if you cringe, you lose, you're fired, you're expelled. If you accept the terms of today's game, head down and like this video. And if you are new here, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now on to today's game. If you cringe, you lose, go. Just Stop Oil called morons as they protest the Chelsea Flower show. This crap.
Oh, for God's sake.
No,
You
no,
morons.
stop it. Humanity is failing. Everything that you hold dear
And how did you
is in
get here
peril.
today?
How did you get here today?
The flower gardens that you love. The artwork that
What
you
are they throwing anyways? Is that like
buildings that you adore.
this orange powder? What is that? What are they doing?
What is the point in a garden if you can't feed yourself?
Yeah,
What is
okay.
the point in a garden if you can't eat? What is the point in tradition?
All right, we're gonna cut the clip there. Why did we include this clip here? Because if you are not on the climate train, you're not one of these people out at the gardens throwing, gluing your hand to the cements as you saw in last week's video. You're not woke yet. Wake up. Milk-bone flavor snack. Oh, hell yeah. All those transgender dogs, all those gay dogs out there. Now they feel included. I'm so happy they did this. Milk-bone, thank you for including all those dogs. For years they haven't been, and now they are. Encourage women. Time out. Before I read this one, I know we've had this one, but I had to throw this one in here because it's of utmost importance, okay? Encourage women to smell their poop to be more inclusive to trans women. Going on, some women have a hole where their penis used to be, and it can share microbiome with the colon, creating a distinct transitioning odor. Be woke. Smell your poop. And these aren't my words. These are not my rules. I'm just trying to relay the message here. Kareem JeanPierre slams ban on trans treatment for minors. These are our kids. They belong to all of us. Now they don't. No, this isn't a Brave New World. Have you read that book? That's what these guys are pushing. You raise the kids in a lab. You jam these ideas down their throats when they're young. Then they become and they support the system. It is, sad to see. Preserving my children's innocence is an act of preserving white supremacy. The choices I make as a parent matter. That's right. Your kid is default bad just by the way they look. Make sure you teach them that. Make sure you jam that down their throats. Make them feel bad about themselves for doing nothing wrong, because that's good parenting, obviously.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age. who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Well, you're looking for a unicorn. That doesn't exist. Every person I know that is a liberal man is, a bag of milk. They're weak. They're soft. They're meek. You're gonna have to figure something out. And I honestly don't know if you're gonna find a conservative guy that's gonna put up with your crap. That's also a unicorn. I'm just being honest. The rise of Latino white supremacy. At a time of rising racial violence, Latinos are potential perpetrators and potential victims. I can't even believe that they're pushing this. This is a thing. And the stories that this pertained to quickly died very fast because it's such a bizarre and absurd thing. But they've pushed more bizarre, more absurd things. People hook, line, and sinker. They bit into it. Why waking up early is rooted in white supremacy. Yes. Did you know that? Get up early. I get up at 5:36, Is that early? Does that count? Dumb. The Seattle School of Theology and Psychology. Is it hard for a white person to enter the kingdom of heaven? Looks like a couple years old there, but this is academia, the School of Theology, asking the real tough questions. Insane. Here we go. Another example. HSBC, the UK, Mexico, and Turkey. Oh, come on. Why didn't you change Turkey? What do you do? How come you're not doing it everywhere if you totally believe in this? Want to make the changes? How come you're not promoting it everywhere? No? I wonder why.
Okay, maybe everyone but me knew this, but I just learned from the book I'm reading, I'll put it right here, that the 3 meals a day thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is from colonialism and white supremacy. That when the European colonizers came and saw the indigenous people eating when they were hungry, they were like, they're savages, they are uncivilized. Because the white Europeans differentiated themselves from animals who would graze for their food when they were hungry by setting distinct meal times that correlated with time of day. And so that is why we eat 3 meals a day instead of just eating when we're hungry. Because the colonizers thought that resembled animals too much.
Freaking colonizers, dude. Freaking Europeans, man. In all seriousness, this is like the definition, the all-encompassing perfect symbol of wokeism. Everything is problematic. Everything is bad. Everything is racist. Everything. The sun rising in the east and setting in the west is actually racist. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but it is. Non-binary ex-Biden official Sam Brinton arrested for yet another baggage theft. I think it's up to 3 now. Grand larceny charges. I might be wrong, but how many bags total got stolen over this whole period? Going back years. Who knows?
If you aren't a cis white Christian man, Florida is a dangerous place. Women can't get medical care. People of color and LGBTQ2 have no rights. Even corporations aren't safe.
Even corporations? Wait a minute. Isn't this the same group of people that this, the far left? Wasn't this like the anti-corporate thing not that long ago? How come you guys are defending corporations now? Because they're decorating their floats every June? While not actually caring about it and not doing it universally in other places like the Middle East? Suckers, man. Pew, 2020. Has a doctor or healthcare provider ever told you that you have a mental health condition? Percentage saying yes. Conservatives, women and men. Moderates, women and men. And liberals, women and men. That is straight hardcore data right there from Pew. And imagine, I almost guarantee these numbers are increased, probably across the board, not just for the... Dude, look at this. Look at this. There's got to be some correlation here. Something. Like, come on, look at this. Look at this chart, you guys. At the very least, that's hilarious. TikTok remove account of teen who randomly walked into family's home. TikTok police prank sparks controversy about white privilege. White privilege? Really? Did you see what this idiot did? He just randomly walked into people's houses. Like, just walked in there. That's okay, and that not being able to do that represents white privilege? Yes, of course. But is anything surprising at this point?
Jessica Tapia was fired as a teacher from Harupa Valley High School for refusing to hide students' gender preferences from parents.
If I were to ever find out about a student's gender or pronoun preference, that I was to withhold that from parents. And I said, "Are you asking me to lie to parents?" And they said, "Yes." We are talking about minors. Their brain is not fully developed. The decision-making portal in that brain it's not fully developed, and they need their parents at this time for everything they're going through, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you name it.
Parents should absolutely be involved in all the decisions that their kids make.
There we go. Look, you guys, finally someone speaking some logic and some truth and some reality. And this lady was fired for it. Just, again, know who's teaching your kids. It's pretty important, sadly, in these times. From the Daily Wire, University of Minnesota restricts white students from research program hit with civil rights complaints. This is real. Only people of color could apply for this program. They roundaboutly said, if you're white, you can't apply. And I believe, this obviously is May 22nd, I think they had to reverse this. They had to, because this is doing what they allegedly oppose, discriminating against a group of people. This is full circle. If you're against sexual abuse, then you should also be against dairy. What? I actually want you to elaborate on this and explain this in further detail. From the Irish Independent, now 200,000 cows must be culled to hit climate targets. 200,000 cows. Got to eliminate the farts. I don't think that's going to change anything. I'm just going to be honest with you. Getting rid of the cow farts. This is, we're now getting into some really crazy territory. Leading sanitary products brand is accused of erasing girls in a new guide to periods by referring to them as bodies with female sex organs. So, can you imagine going back and showing like women who picketed for the right to vote, stuff like that? How I would just love to see them react to all of these stories now. Like, women don't, that's not a thing, right? I mean, what is it? That question's been universal with the whole Matt Walsh stuff. We still haven't got a definition. But women watching this, how does this make you feel? You're no longer a woman, but you're a body with female sex organs. That's what you are. That's what you've been boiled down to, according to this. All right, we got the Major League Baseball. They changed their logo, and just literally a day later, changed it back. They had to turn off the replies on their Twitter, on their tweet when they changed this. Yep, maybe it's the Target effect. I don't know. Maybe it's the Bud Light effect. Maybe people are they're finally sick of it. I don't know. Jane Fonda blames white men for climate crisis, calls to arrest and jail them. Man, what is she, 80-something? It just seems like when you hopefully that doesn't happen to me. Hopefully I don't lose my mind getting to the 80s, but it seems to be the case. Got all these people in Washington, D.C., Hollywood, they're all in their 80s, and they just start saying dumb stuff. Just in, after signing a bill banning height and weight discrimination in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams tells a reporter that body type is not a connection to whether you're healthy or unhealthy. I beg to differ. And I say this as someone who worked in the medical field for 4 years. I mean this. I'm not even being mean. This is actually mean. This is terrible. This is why would you tell someone this? It is not healthy. It's not. I have never seen someone in their late 60s, 70s, never in their 70s, ever, 100% in their 70s, who is morbidly obese. Never had one patient in their 70s, because it's bad on your organs. It's not healthy. Your body can't take it for that long. So this is a shame. If someone says they're a woman, not a tough concept. That's it. There's no empirical, nothing. Nothing. That's it. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. Priority lane: senior citizen, pregnant women, person with disability, LGBTQ. Where the hell is this? Is this a government place? Land Transportation Office? It's in probably California, I imagine. There you go. If you live in California, you get priority. Rep. Cori Bush pushes for $14 trillion in reparations. Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush spoke to The Root about introducing a resolution urging Congress to provide reparations to Black Americans. Every time this comes up, I have to ask again, what about Kamala Harris? Does she, her family had slaves? That's what her dad said. Her dad came out and said her family owned slaves. So does she get reparations? That's what I want to know. I want to know that. Combating homophobia lessons from Prophet Muhammad. You know, I'm going to let you do that on your own. I'm not even going to get into that one. I just want you to know that there's a reason that these companies don't change their logos. Well, we know for sure they don't actually care. They don't. But I would advise you to be careful. That's all I'm going to say. My pronouns throughout this year. January, she, they. February, she, they. March, they, she, they, she. They, she, he. They, he, she. They, he, she, ek. What's that, Z? They, he, she, z. They, he, z. They, he, he, they. Wait, what's the difference between they, he, and he, they? That's an honest question. And I just, it's really how it works. Oh, another one. Look at that. We got another one. BMW India, BMW South Africa, BMW Saudi Arabia. Why BMW? Aren't you scared of making a stance or what? Tough. This is what AI thinks of us. Democrat protester versus Republican protester. I know there's a lot of you that disagree with me on this, but I feel like there's very few protests that have worked on both sides. Even same with boycotts until recently. This is a perfect description. This is a perfect depiction of what is real life and what AI thinks is. So AI, they're pretty intelligent. Emily Bridges, trans cyclist, furious at genocidal British cycling after elite racing ban. Genocidal. Really? You want to use that word? Really? DC, do we really need to do a man-spreading campaign on our trains? I thought we were above this. Dude, really? Really? You're going to take a picture of this guy's, and post it? How empty is the train? There's a lot of context missing. Is that the only seat that's open?
So I just walked into Target, and the right behind me here, where you see all these lovely swimsuits, that's where the Pride display used to be. And I came in here 2 days ago, and my 7-year-old, who's non-binary, saw it and said, "Look, Mom, it's Pride. Look, they're going to celebrate me." And because some people complained and threw some stuff to the ground, or I don't know what happened, they have moved the Pride section to the back of the store. So the next time my 7-year-old comes to Target, or rather, I can't bring them here anymore, at least for the entire month of June, because if they walk in, and all the other people who walk in and go, "Where'd it go?" are going to realize that they are being successful in trying to erase them. We could do so much better than this. We're not supposed to negotiate with terrorists. We can do so much better than this.
What do they call that? Munchausen by proxy? Is that what they say? I think that's what I've been reading. But a 7-year-old. Really? A 7-year-old. What would your 7-year-old have done if you didn't teach them these things? What would they have done? Female-led reboot of The Office is in the works. You know what? They can do whatever they want. Look how Ghostbusters turned out. That being said, if you've ever seen The Office, and I'm just only on like season 3, it's amazing, by the way. It's funny because it's so offensive. It's hilarious. There is not a chance that this is going to be anywhere near the original. It's not.
I got a 0 on a project proposal in my class because I used the term biological women, which is apparently not allowed anymore. She even said it was a good project proposal, but I got a 0 because I used this term and it's exclusionary and not allowed anymore, so. And I 100% know that this is like the most biased grade ever because my project is about transgenders competing in biological women's sports. How am I supposed to do my final project if I can't use the word biological women? But that's what my project is about.
What did I say? If you don't comply, especially in academia, in the corporate world, you get canceled. Everyone knows that. That's why we do these shows. Come on. But in reality, this is where we are. Just a reminder. This is where we are. This is how deep it is. It's not some fringe people on Twitter. This is in our schools. It's everywhere. What a time to be alive. Cornell voted to stop calling its English departments the English department in order to fight structural forms of racism. I want to say that's fake. I don't believe it. That has to be satire. Anyone here go to Cornell? Anyone? Can you confirm in the description here, in the comments?
Thanks so much for asking. For those of you who don't know, I go by vampire pronouns. Sometimes when I feel, kind of like vampy. So my pronouns are vir, or vire, vampire self, or like vir self. So like an example of that would be V went to the store. They're going to be right back. Taking care of Vamp self. Vamp said that they really like chocolate cake and V's gonna go buy some. If you have any more questions, just ask. I love talking about pronouns and transgenders' identities. Woo, hyperfixation. Use them. Use the pronouns or you're expelled from school. You can identify as a vampire, as a whatever. Yeah, literally whatever. Everyone has to comply with your rules. It's totally not a form of control in your life when things are out of control. Use the pronouns. NYC unveils vending machines with free crack pipes and drug kits. Was this real? Like, this wasn't a joke? This was real? Or is this a bit? Honestly, don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's real, but I have a hunch that it wasn't. Anyone have insight on this? White supremacy is now a multiracial movement. It can no longer be denied. Again. Yeah, that story died real quick, too. Women-only spa forced to allow trans customers with blank, even though everyone is naked. Even if you have a mojo, you can, everyone's naked at the spa. You got to allow them. That must be the judge there that ruled on it. Adidas under fire as biological male models female-style swimming costume. I can't even not laugh at it. It's like, it's so beyond absurd at this point. And like I said from the beginning, why do these companies do this stuff? Why do they go out and push these agendas? Well, if you've not heard of the ESG before, it is it's a score given to companies that has to do with environmental, social, and governance. They get a score based on how well they do all of those things. And here is BlackRock, a company that manages about $9 to $10 trillion. They have a lot of power, talking about forcing people's behaviors.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class.
Forcing behaviors, and they do that with things like the ESG score. They have a lot of money. Hey, company, if you don't have a good ESG score, if you don't comply with all of these things that we're trying to push, then you're going to get a lower score. And our $9 to $10 trillion that we manage, we're going to pull all of that out of your company. That just is what it is. That is what these people do. That's a huge reason why a lot of this stuff happens in the corporate world. I highly encourage you to go look more into that. But back to today's episode. Did you cringe at all in today's episode? If you did, you lose. And again, you're canceled. You're about to be expelled. You're about to be fired from your job. You need to jump on board the woke train. Okay? It's no laughing matter. Let me know how you did down in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video. Please help us get it recommended to others. That's it for today's video. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed. This is Zeducation.
Nano, no, I don't know.
Idiots.